Okay, I think I'm live, maybe a minute early. I'm trying to just time it just perfect, right? Till 6 o'clock. Um, well, there we go. And Sadie is right on time. I see her there, and I think she is my guest tonight. And I think she's going to try. Oh, she's already requested a review to get online to it. All right. And hi to Zachy boy. So we're waiting for. There you
Hi.
are. Hi. You were snappy. You were right on it. Other people can't find that, but I have no idea where the button is because I'm always on this that end. It used to be on my
Yeah.
end, and now it's on your end. I have no idea.
Once you know, you know. I've done this before, and I think the first time it did, I was like, what am I pushing? So I know where it is now, but
You'll have to tell me next time. Well,
yeah.
hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Anita Wang, and welcome to this episode of Ask Dr. Anita, where I provide you with the big picture on healthy living through unique Western, Eastern, and functional medicine perspectives. Each week, I like to bring on a special guest to ask questions from their community. And this week, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Sadie Tolberg. She's a health and wellness advocate and an isogenics associate. She's the wife, mom of two, nurse, and Army veteran, and who's passionate about helping others find the best version of themselves through finding the right nutrition, mindset, and community. Isogenics is a health and wellness company that believes everyone deserves better well-being from the inside out. So, Sadie, we gave you a little intro. Tell us a little bit more, because I know there's some more personal side to that than that intro. So you can give us a little scoop and then shoot into your questions.
Thank you. That was such a good overall kind of who I am. But my personal story, my journey that brought me here today is very diverse. So, like it said, I was in the military for about 9 years, and I always knew that I had a servant heart.
You left out,
And
did you leave out ER nurse? Because I'm an ER doctor. That was our connection,
right.
right?
Yeah. So when I left the Army, I wanted to be a nurse because, again, that's helping people. And I just felt this pull to be an ER nurse because of the adrenaline, because, the saving lives, like I want to help impact people. And so when I found Dr. Anita, like I was like, we need to connect because of this ER experience together. And so there was one piece missing with that, and that was that true human connection. I met with these patients for an hour, a very short period of time, and so it was only like, what can I treat and then fix, and then that's it. And so I decided to change directions when I moved to Kansas. We're a military family still. My husband's still active duty. So in Kansas, I did a rural ER, but I also did clinic, and I thought, here's my chance to educate more. I can really talk to people on a deeper level. And it still wasn't enough. Like, people weren't getting what they truly needed to prevent ER visits and prevent, long-term effects. And so, yeah, you can't. I mean, and it was like, I'd see a follow-up in a few months and I'm like, hey, how did everything go with your patient education? And they're like, what? I don't remember any of that. And so I was just like, where is this piece? So when Isogenics came to me, I was at an all-time low with my weight. I was 94 pounds heavier than I am now when I had my son. And so I've lost a lot of weight. And I was at a point with my health where heartburn was bringing me to my knees. I was having joint pain that was singing through my body. I was having so many issues related to stress and depression and things like that, that I knew I needed to do something. And my best friend of 20 years talked to me about this company and talked to me about this solution. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try it, but I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to take it in secret. And I lost weight through the holidays. I started waking up before my alarm. I was dancing with my kids in the kitchen. I felt this new, vibrant version of myself. And I thought, this, I can't just keep this secret to myself. Of course I need to share it with people. There are people out there praying for a solution like this. So I did all the research. I diligently researched everything. And I soon realized people don't really care about all that details. They just want to know what they're going to feel like. How does it taste? Is it cost effective? And so I've been sharing for a little over a year and done really well in the business as well. So I love meeting with other health professionals, and especially with our connection with the ER. And I hope to work in an ER again one day. I am licensed here in California. I'm just currently staying home with my kids and sharing Isogenics full time. So that's kind of what brings me here today.
That is a fabulous story. I love how you transitioned and how it transitioned you, and
Yeah.
how people need to know that just lifestyle and just, you know, just a change, a simple change can make a world of difference. And you're an example of that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So do you have any
Yeah.
questions that's
Yeah.
from the community?
So one thing that has been a new product and a new fascination for me is collagen. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about collagen today. So I've been doing a lot of research on my own, but I love to hear, other perspectives and really kind of get a full picture. So first I want to ask you, what is the relationship of collagen to skin elasticity, especially as we age?
Well, I mean, collagen is a protein, right? And it's ubiquitous in the body. It's going to help you build muscle mass, going to help with arthritis, it's going to help with skin elasticity. So your question is specifically just for the skin elasticity. So we're going to skip never mind that you take it, you are going to do the other things, but just focusing on the collagen of the portion, because there's 19 different, there's, so many different types. One through four. I typically recommend type 1 and 3 for skin elasticity. And what the you lose collagen 1% every year after the age of 18. So, and then Caucasians to African Americans, that continuum of collagen is unfortunately Caucasians have the least, and then African Americans have the most, and then I'm in between there. So when you're losing that percentage, if you start off with not as much, you're going to notice that. And so the effects of the sun, smoking, drinking, inflammation, any of those things are going to damage it and loosen the skin, and you're not going to have it. So collagen is vital to maintain that, not only for your joints and to build muscles, but to keep your skin healthy. And it's one of the biggest organs in our body. People don't think about it, but you need to really keep it healthy and keep it hydrated and make it elastic and stretchy. And I always say, you stretch your muscles and they're elastic. You have to stretch the inside with nitric oxide, and you want to keep your skin pliable and stretchy, because when you do that, you have less rhitis, which is wrinkles. So the more it gets dried out, the more it's not flexible. So when you make those faces, they don't bounce back, and then they get stuck in that space, and then have that little groove or those 11s, those types of things. So that's the play with the collagen. Hopefully I answered the question.
Yeah. And it's such a hot topic right now because, we have a lot of ways that people are looking for, like injections and Botox and things like that. And so people are looking for a more natural way. So what do you recommend for boosting collagen and especially to, kind of fill your cup and then keep it full? What are some of your recommendations?
Well, I mean, collagen you can get in your foods, right? So and anyone, trying to gain muscle, bone health, skin health, you really need about 10 grams, maybe 15 grams more for muscles. And so you can get it in your foods. I mean, basically bone broth, you're going to get it in gelatins, eating natural substances like the cartilage. My mom loves chewing on that and getting the cartilage off the bone. Some people don't like that idea. But, you can get it in the skin of chicken and fish, the beef, obviously, eggs have it. Organ meats are good. People don't take that. And the things that you really need is the pro collagen. So I like theanine. Theanine is the precursor to glycine, which then turns into creatinine. So if you're a vegan and vegetarians, they get that crepey skin because they're low in creatine, so they don't get that. So you need to get that in the source of your collagen and proline. And then the people don't think about it, that what are the precursors, what are the cofactors that develop and make your amino acids? So you need vitamin C. So you need your fruits, vitamin C, you need your citrus fruits, you need your strawberries, bell peppers do it. So you need all of that. Then what else? Copper, you need copper. So that comes from the organ meat, sesame seeds. So those are the things I would do naturally to boost it. And then of course you can always, you can't forget the vegetables. So cabbage and asparagus and mushrooms, some of those are some of the things, dairy, wheats, and I don't know if I mentioned eggs. So those are natural sources of collagen. So you can always eat more of those and make sure that you have a well-rounded, a diet so that you're getting your source of collagen. But if you want, I think if you need more supplements, then you can go to supplements if you aren't getting a good diet, right?
Yeah. And so it is interesting how vegans and vegetarians have a different take on it. And when you talk about that crepey skin, for what I always think about is you think of like older people when they have that skin that's so thin on the back of their hands and they cut it really easily and stuff, a dog or, animal kind of cuts it open. So that's what I think of when I think of crepey skin, or kind of, on your arms. And so that's what's so interesting about kind of the differences in where we get our cellular health and stuff from. So we talked a little bit about the natural sources of collagen. So when you have a client or somebody come to you and they're considering taking a supplement, what are some of the things that they should look out for? What are some of the benefits? What are some of the risks? Like, what do you talk to them about?
I mean, there's really not a lot of risk with collagen. I mean, it's a natural substance. We produce it, we eat it. You can't, you can always do an overdose of a good thing, right? But the downside of having too much collagen is basically an uncomfortable stomach, not feeling well, feeling too full. So I would always say not to get to that point. And we don't really have any studies that show, how much is too much, because it's a pretty natural thing. But the things that we look for in supplements is it's got to be hydrolyzed, which is really pre-digested, so it's absorbable. Because when you're eating your protein and getting it from your natural sources, you have to be able to digest it. You have to break it down. It's got to get into the small components. And when it gets into the small components, then it's got to make the enzymatic reaction that makes the amino acid that then combines to make your collagen. So there's a lot of process going in there. So when you're going to take a supplement, you don't want all that process. You want it simple. You want it to just be ready to be absorbed. So you want it pre-digested, hydrolyzed, and just absorbable, right? So, and I always like to make sure theanine's in there, because that's one of the things that actually has elastin and really is one of the precursors. So you want, and it's all the essential amino acids, so ones that you don't actually make yourself, that you have to ingest. So that's what I look for in there.
Yeah. So do you know much about the difference in absorption with powders and liquids?
Yeah, so the absorption of liquid is going to be it's in 20 to 25 seconds, and it's about 90% more absorbable than any capsules that you're gonna have with capsules or tablets. Tablets I usually grind up to make it in a liquid form, because you're probably going to absorb just in the tablet form maybe about 40-45%. But the powder forms, that turns into a liquid. But you have to be careful that you make sure it's dissolved all the way. The advantages of the powders, you can sprinkle it on your food, add it to certain things, but you just want to make sure that you're getting the full dosage of it. Some people think it may have a little bit of a taste, but there's a lot of unflavored ones. I really am right now partial to, well, there's, because there's bovine, there's porcine, there's marine. Right now, I like the marine collagen at this time. And then I know that your company has one, right? So
yeah. So it's interesting because, we've talked a little bit about my collagen, but it is type 1. It's a marine collagen. It's liquid. It has vitamin C, has biotin. It has other antioxidants, other ancient blends that really have to do with the best absorption rate, and ours are also not oxidized. So they're in little brown bottles. I meant to grab one and I forgot, but they're in little brown dark bottles. So they're not oxidized. Or do you have yours somewhere? Yeah. And so they're in beautiful packaging too. But the difference with powders, when you open it several times, it gets oxidized, and sometimes there's fillers and stuff like that too. I mean, not to knock any brands specifically, but that is what, is really interesting, because I've done a lot of my own research. I don't back anything unless I do research, and then I talk to experts like you and really just know that if there's anything else that I need to be looked at. So for me, my story with collagen, I've lost 94 pounds. I've had 2 children. I have pretty significant stretch marks, and they are now, after about 100 days, they're starting to disappear. And we don't make any medical claims or anything like that, or, you know, any specific, everybody's story is different, everybody's body's different. But how, you know, can this collagen in general help with that excess sin? Because a lot of people have lost a lot of weight. What else can you recommend that will help with this besides potentially taking a collagen?
You know, collagen actually definitely helps because it helps with the elasticity. When you return the elasticity, stretch marks go away. So that is one of the secrets. Also, putting the peptide topically also helps. So if you put it on topically, that helps. Just good nutrition, making sure you're having good antioxidants, all of that, decrease inflammation. The other thing that I do is not a supplement, it's not nutritional, but it's more on just a little added, just radio frequency, some skin tightening, and it stimulates your own body. So you're just using radio frequency waves that actually heat the body up. And when you heat the body up, it stimulates the growth and the cells, and it just brings back the elasticity of it. So I combined all of those. I actually put marine peptides on my face, and then I take marine peptides, and you know, I do have a vegan form for those people because those are the master aminos. So they've done studies, and so you have the master aminos. So the right blend, it's got theanine in it. So for people who are vegan and don't want to have any of the, you know, take the bovine, porcine, or marine. So there are vegan formulations that you can take. And then my added thing is that I just stimulate the body, because anytime you have to have increased blood flow, increased growth, and you know, exercise gets blood flow growing, gets the body to repair itself, and just by stimulating that can have you, you know, grow more collagen.
Absolutely. I mean, that's so important. I mean, just bringing, you can't even talk about this without also talking about, you know, exercise and movement and all of those things too. So that's really interesting. So another thing that, you know, I want to bring up that's kind of leading into that is, you know, when it comes to people who are struggling with being overweight or being obese, which is a clinical term. I think that a lot of people do take that to heart. I hear a lot of people say, oh my gosh, my doctor called me obese. They're so mean. But it is important to remember it is a medical term. It's the way that we categorize people of a certain BMI. And so what is the best advice that you can give to somebody who is looking and ready and willing to make that change to start the path of losing that weight?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is, you know, they hear so many things about this diet and that diet, and, you know, go keto and low carb and no fat, or, you know, you have to remember everyone is unique. So each person, you have to look at your genetics. You have to look at your cellular function. You have to look at your hormone levels. You have to know how your body is functioning. And then you have to be willing to have a lifestyle change, because it's not, oh, I'm going to go do this for 6 months, lose a bunch of weight, and then go back to my old habit. So it's got to be a shift and change. It's got to be a lifestyle change, and it's got to be a commitment to that. So that's the first step, is that's got to be, what is your motivation? What's your desire? And are you willing to put in that effort and make those changes? It doesn't mean no cookies forever. Doesn't mean no sugar forever. I mean, you're going to have that maybe for a period of time till you lose your weight. And then once you get there, you can have your snacks here and there, but you're not going to have it for 3 months at a time. You're going to change and shift the way how you ate. And maybe you weren't a person that overate. Maybe you were one of those in the starvation mode and metabolic damage, where you were actually eating nothing, and you were not, you know, say the word obese, but you were big, large. You had what I call extra goodness. So you had too much extra goodness. And I always say, we want to give that, spread the goodness around. So you had too much of that. And then they say they eat nothing, and yet every time they eat nothing, they still gain weight. Well, that's going to look at your metabolism, look at hormones, look at all stress. It's going to be a lot of different factors. And the thing that you have to remember is not the thing about calories in, calories out. It depends on quality of calories, what you're doing, how you're exercising, what time you're eating. If you happen to be one of those whose metabolisms that can't take carbohydrates, you may have to eliminate that, right? Some people can have it. So it just all depends. And it's just, you have to just make sure you find the right person that can work with you, find that can get you to where you want. Once you got to a plateau, you may want to look for somebody who's functional medicine that can go into a deeper dive and figure out what's in your cellular function, what's in your mitochondria, what's going on, that needs to be, maybe it's a genetic mutation, maybe it's something. So first step is just always just, there's a solution for you, and it should fit your lifestyle and what you want. And it's not just a diet for a period of time. It's a shift.
Right. I used to think like that. I truly used to feel like if I got to a certain weight, then I can just live my life and eat ice cream every day and do whatever. And so I really worked on my relationship with food. And I really looked at why I felt like I was looking for love at the bottom of the ice cream pint. Why did I feel like I needed to eat more than one slice of the pie? Like, why? What is that psychology behind it? And that's what I try to work with people on when they come to me. I actually just completed my nutrition coach through ISSA. I'm waiting for my final to be graded, so fingers crossed. But I've learned a lot through that too, about just cellular health and what your cells are telling you. If they're starving and, your hunger hormones and stuff are off, like you have to dive deep into why. And it requires testing. It requires somebody like you to really look for the things that your body doesn't show, like you can't just take a finger prick and know. You've got to actually dig deep into it. And so when somebody comes to you and they're like, I'm going to start this diet, what are some red flags that you're like, whoa, 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 back off. You're not ready yet. Maybe that's not the best choice. What are some red flags?
So let me think. So some red flags of, I'm going to think, I mean, it's just there's certain mindsets, right? I'm kind of, okay, let me just think here.
I think
I had some ideas, but then they're just fleeting, I think, for one time.
Yeah.
I just think that
we kind of talked about a few.
Yeah, I think the red flag for me really is that they just think that it's just, there's one and done, like that mindset that you talked about, and that they really think that it's just, I'm just going to have a diet, it's just going to work for a short time, and they don't realize that there's a shift in lifestyle. So to me, that's a red flag. And then comparing themselves to somebody else and saying that, well, they did this and, it should work for me. Why does it work? Or what, or they want to do exactly what, X, Y, and Z did. And then I'll say, that's not the thing for you. Some people, I'll say that you need to exercise for 45 minutes a day. Other people will say you need to back off on exercise because you're doing way too much and we need to slow down. So I think the thing is to realize that everything that you hear out there is just general information, and it may not be the one specific for you, but they're all correct. But it's got to be the one that works for you, and maybe we're going to piecemeal them together. So I don't know what the red flag is, other just maybe not having an open mindset would be my big thing. I don't know, what red flags have you seen?
Definitely people looking for a quick fix. You don't gain 50 pounds in 1 month. You're not going to lose it in 1 month. And my system's not a quick fix. I tell people that straight up front. Sometimes people think that, you have to set, you either have to spend a certain amount, or like there's money associated with your nutrition. And that's a mindset thing too, where it's like, you can't sit here and expect that $7 meal at McDonald's is going to compare to, a $3 or $4 meal bar or shake or something that's formulated to feed you on a cellular level. I think people look at quantity over quality sometimes, or they get really caught up in taste versus, things like that. So I just try to look at people and ask more questions and just say, why is that important to you? Is there something else that we need to work on? Maybe there's a mindset shift, or there's something else in your life that we need to address. And sometimes it's something that we're taught as children. Like, as kids, we were told, finish your plate. And that's something that stuck with me forever. And then when I was in basic training, eat as fast as I inhaled my food. Like, you're taught that, and I still eat really fast. And I'm like, I want to enjoy my food, but it's like an ingrained habit. So like, I've read a lot about habits and habit stacking and things. So I think that's really important. And I think that having community, when people try to do things alone and they're like, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm doing this, I'm just going to do it secretly by myself in the corner. I tried to do that, and it's not helpful. Like, you want people cheering you on. And if it's not the current group of people you're around, there are 7.5 billion people in this world, find a new group. So there are people out there, there's strangers on Instagram and on Facebook that will cheer you on like no other. So just finding something like that, you know, that can really truly help build you up. And so I really listen to people. I really listen to what they're looking for. So when I work with them, I want to hear their pain points and work with them on something specifically. And, you know, if I can direct them to somebody like you, you're just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road for me. I'm up in San Pedro. So, but I know I work with people globally. And one of the questions that we had talked during our one-to-ones is, can you work with somebody, you know, that may be able to come to you once, but may live somewhere else. So if they come to visit me, they can come check in with you and then go home. And that's something that is super great about, I mean, honestly, a little bit of a silver lining with the pandemic. It's taught us that we can work
Yeah,
from far away.
yeah,
So
we can do
I
it
think it's so
remotely.
wonderful to partner with people like you and just be on the same path of wellness. And you know, you're born with one body. It's the only body you get until death. And you can make all the money in the world, but if you can't function,
No,
it's not worth it.
You need good quality life to the very end. That's for sure. That is definitely. That's why my saying is always, "I want everyone to live long and die well." Right?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
absolutely.
It's so good.
Well, this has been
Yeah.
great.
Well,
It's been really fun.
thank you.
Just
Yes.
So I think that is all the time we have for today. And I want to thank my guest, Sadie
Thank
Tolberg. Hope
you.
I said that right. And coming to this Instagram live with me for this Q&A. It's educational purposes and with our unique perspective. And always consult your doctor before making any diet or lifestyle changes. And if you'd like to submit your questions or want to be a guest, you can reach out to me at my website. My name, ANITAWANGMD.com, or call me at 949-734-0580 and leave me a detailed message. And Sadie, how do people reach out to you?
I am on Instagram. I respond back to that. I'm found on Facebook, Sadie Tolberg. My email is sadietolberg@yahoo.com. And I respond in as fast as I can in any of those ways. So I'd love to work with people one-to-one, schedule visits, Zooms, whatever works for you.
All right. Thank you again. This was fun. And
Yes, thank you.
I will see you guys
Have a
next
good
time.
night.
Yeah.
Yes.